off. Electric slide into the devil doors of life. Things are changing and it ain't the way I like. On the replay, wish I could get a replay. Don't mean to hold ya, but I wanna do over. Gas up the ship, shoot me a text and let me know when it is time. I wanna get off, I wanna get off. 1 star, would not recommend that we go far from here. I wanna get off, I wanna get off. A music podcast for the culture, Wild Wild Thoughts.
What's up, everybody? We are here with another episode of Wild Wild Thoughts for the culture, about the culture, by the culture. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot to talk about today. Today, we're going to keep it light. We want to have just like a fun little chill show since the last few shows have been battle heavy. The last few shows have been Diddy heavy. So tonight, we want to have a little fun. You know what I mean? And first off, before we get started, want to send a big RIP out to Bill Walton. You know, we lost a legend, the big tie-dye, you know what I'm saying? Basketball legend, not only a basketball legend, but a basketball commentary legend. That dude was hilarious, father of Luke Walton, you know, a lifelong Laker. Number 1 pick for the Portland Trail Blazers, bought him a championship. I think they only championship, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Bought the Portland Trail Blazers their only championship. He was a beast until he got hurt. He was the white Greg Oden, man. Like, until he got hurt, he was beasting, and after that, he couldn't really shake his injuries after the first big one. So we didn't really get to see what his career could have been, but from the flashes we got and the things we saw, man, he was a great, a beloved NBA figure, man. So just want to say condolences to his family and RIP to Big Red, Bill Walton, man. Did he play for the Knicks, Mars?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. No,
it was Boston,
Portland.
No, I don't think he did. No,
it was a third team, but I can't remember what the third team is.
I don't think it. No.
Boston.
I don't know. See, this is why we be needing a producer on the show. Let me look it up real quick.
It was only 3 teams. It was Boston and Portland. I know for certain.
Bill Walton basketball reference. That's what we'll do. Let's see who he played for.
Yeah, but just say Celtics.
No, it was more than that. He played for the Trailblazers, the Clippers.
Oh, the Trailblazers and the Clippers.
And the Celtics.
Wait,
yeah, Trailblazers, Clippers, and the Celtics. Yeah.
College, he was all UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
UCLA. Yeah, man. So
go Bruins.
You know, like I said, so I say we lost a big piece of the NBA foundation, man. Losing Bill Walton.
It's V-Ray. Sometimes you just gotta pop out and show niggas that you in the
Yeah, so all right, man, let's hop into it. Before we get into the black cinema, I just wanted to holler at y'all about cinema in general, because I've seen a couple of movies the past weekend, man. I went to take the girls to see Imaginary Friend with Ryan Reynolds, and like that cast was stacked. Though I didn't realize like every single Imaginary Friend was somebody really, really famous. You know, like you had everybody in that movie from George Clooney to Richard Jenkins to Steve Carell, Maya Rudolph. I'm talking about like
big names.
Yeah, big names. And it was a well put together movie, man. It was. Let me tell you something. If you go, you know, get your tissue ready. It's a real heartfelt movie. It got some heart to it. Got some good feeling. It reminded me of like the old school '80s movies. You know what I mean? Where it wasn't just silly. It was silly. Plus, it had some heart. It had a great story, nice storyline. So that one was good. And I give spoil-free reviews, people. So don't worry. You don't have to worry about me spoiling it for you. And then the other movie I saw was Furiosa, part of the Mad Max saga. I was pleasantly surprised by it because I really, really like Fury Road. I really liked Fury Road, so I wanted to see what they would do with the prequel to Fury Road. And Anya Taylor Joy, she was pretty dope. She was really dope, taking over the role from Charlize Theron, doing this prequel. And they had like younger versions of a lot of the guys that were in, Fury Road. So same thing, great action. The way it was shot was ridiculous. I saw it on IMAX too. I saw it on the IMAX screen, man. But like when I tell you, it was like action damn near from top to the end. It wasn't a whole bunch of like story, a whole bunch of exposition. It was like they really got into it. They got to it. Want to give a big shout out to Chris Hemsworth because he killed it. Because a lot of times Chris Hemsworth, you feel like he gets to play himself. In a lot of movies, like he don't really stretch, even though he was kind of different. And what was that Netflix movie he did? He had part 1 and part 2. His Netflix movie was kind of like
Extraction.
Extraction, yeah, he was a little different in Extraction because it's a little more
that was
serious. Yeah, he's really good. But this, it's like a totally different character. His voice sounds different. There's some stuff to his face, so he don't even look like himself. I was like blown away by his performance. So when you go check out Chris Hemsworth performance, man, and I would say it's a good movie. I would say you guys need to go see it. I would suggest that people go see both of those movies. If it's really good, especially if you have kids, or if you don't have kids, like you don't have to have kids to get that movie. It was really good, and like I said, the other one was Furiosa, which is really good. And randomly, last night I watched Roadhouse, the new Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal. Bro, why was it fire?
Was it? I didn't even bother watching it.
Dog.
It don't look good. It don't look appealing.
Fire. From top to bottom. Like a great movie.
Wow.
All right, I'm gonna have to watch it because I seen it. I ain't gonna lie. I looked at it, but I ain't look too appealing.
It was the same way. I hadn't watched it, but I came across it last night. I said, you know what? Let me watch Roadhouse, man. And I like the original movie when he just, Patrick Swayze kicking the shit out of everybody. You know what I'm saying? Roadhouse is basically Patrick Swayze in some jeans and cowboy boots kicking. Nigga didn't even have a kung fu style, just kicking the shit out of people.
Just kicking motherfuckers.
just chest kicks to everybody was his whole thing. But this movie, man, Jake Gyllenhaal, he killed it, man. And Conor McGregor was a great fucking villain. Like,
oh, what? All right, I'm gonna have to.
Conor McGregor was a great fucking villain.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch this shit.
And when I say the action sequences were crazy, like the action sequences, like the way they shot it, it's almost like they had them holding the camera while they was fighting. I don't know if any of y'all ever watched this show called Banshee. There's a show called Banshee. But the fight scenes in Banshee, a lot of times they would have the actors hold the camera while the other actor was acting out the punches. So when they pull back, it really looked like you in the fight or a part of the fight. So that's how they shot the fights for Roadhouse. Like you literally feel like you're in the fight, and it don't feel like a boxing match like Creed. It feels different than all of that. It really feel like, because it's mostly bar fights, so it really feel like bar fights, like, and you feel like you in it, almost like they did some VR shit, like, you know what I mean, like almost shot like you watching it through some VR shit. So hey,
so basically you felt like we're gonna feel like we're being fucked up.
Yeah, no, for real, like for
so
real,
basically
bro.
Like that one movie, what's that one movie called, Hardcore Henry? You ever seen that shit?
It's kind of like Hardcore Henry, yeah, but not as close. Like, you know how Hardcore Henry almost made you dizzy, so it's like that, but not as close. It's a little pull back, so you can like enjoy, like, because Hardcore Henry, you didn't have a seizure.
You was in his eyes, literally.
You didn't have a seizure.
Nigga.
But
it was crazy.
Roadhouse is very close to that. But like I said, they shot it a little different. But when I say the action sequences are crazy, I think you will really like it, V-Ray, because like it seemed like the type of movie that you would really, really, really fuck with. So
I have to check it out, man.
Yeah.
You know what I was pleasantly surprised by, bro? Is Monkey Man. Have you seen that?
Oh, no, so somebody told me that was whack.
No, bro. Well, let me frame it like this. You remember Nobody? The movie where old boy from Better Call Saul was
Nobody?
He was like an action dude. Have you seen Nobody?
Yeah. Yeah, I love Nobody.
It's the Middle Eastern Nobody is Monkey Man, bro. They
Okay,
got some
okay.
there's some cool fight sequences and stuff. And if you watch the whole thing, now it starts off weird, and you know, I actually I watched it. I've started on it a couple of times. The first time after 10 minutes, I was like, get the fuck out of here. You get this shit out of here, right? But then another time I ran it and because I was working on something, I needed the noise that I knew wouldn't distract me. So since I was thinking it wasn't good, I just let it run. And I
Right.
ended up just abandoning whatever the hell I was doing. Because once the story gets rolling, it's dope. It's a bunch of good fight scenes in there,
Okay.
and it has a cool resolution. The way they reveal really slow in the movie though. So by the time it's almost at the end, that's when they finally reveal what the whole twist on what Old Boy is about and stuff like that. But in the meantime, it's some crazy fight scenes, chase scenes, gunplay. The only thing that's distracting to that movie, in that movie to me, is I never get like the karate movies and shit like that where like there's a big criminal mastermind, bad guy, and he got 40 or 50 henchmen. Nobody got a pistol in the whole motherfucking gang and shit. Everybody ran out and go in karate poses to start fighting. Like, nigga, you don't have guns. This is a modern day movie too. It ain't like from back in the 50s or some old ancient shit. Nobody had a pistol. I think I saw 2 guns in the whole movie. But other than that, it's really good. And if you like that action, like those fight scenes from Nobody, you'll love Monkey Man.
Okay, I'm into it. So there y'all go. Wild thoughts, movie
Yeah.
reviews of what's happening right now. You know what I'm saying? Now let's
One
get.
more.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'd be remiss if I didn't say anything about my own movie premiere coming up on the 15th of June. So we got a short film that we're doing a premiere on. I won't belabor it here, but if you go to my timeline, I got all kind of information about the movie premiere. But we got a romantic comedy short film that has already got a couple of awards and festivals and stuff like that. We're gonna debut it here on the 15th. So anyway.
Shout out to V-Ray for that. Y'all go check that out.
Yeah.
Little horn toot of my own beat.
Yeah.
Hell no, talk your shit, V. Fuck that.
Yeah, that's right.
Fucking
That's a perfect segue into what we're talking about anyway. So we're talking about Black cinema and how it has impacted the culture of movie making in general. So today we're going to talk about some of our favorite directors, some of our favorite films, what we like about them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'll let you start, V-Ray, because this is kind of your wheelhouse. Give me some of give me your top 5 Black directors.
Black
Your
directors.
Your personal top 5.
I would say oh boy that did I'm drawing a blank on his name, but that did Black Panther is dope.
Oh yeah.
Jordan Peele, from a director standpoint, very creative director. Spike Lee is one of the built-in ones. Mario Van Peebles Sr. Dope. And I liked a couple of things that Denzel Washington has directed. I was caught off guard thinking his work would be formulaic, but he's actually, if you look at his actual work, the angles and the cinematography that are built into his films and stuff, he's actually doper than he's getting credit for. He ain't really doing a lot of it, but when he does it, I think it's pretty great. So that's 5 that just off the top of the head.
All right. How about you, Mars?
I gotta agree with some of what B-Ray's saying. Definitely Ryan, number 1, Black Panther. Number 2 number 2 to me is Robert Townsend, The 5 Heartbeats.
Yeah.
Number 3, I would go Jordan Peele for the movies in which he's done.
Who'd you say number 3?
Jordan Peele.
Oh, Jordan Peele's dope. Yeah.
Top 5. Number 4 and 5. That's a tough one. I gotta stick with those three because those are 3 movies in which I can keep watching over and over.
Okay. So I'm gonna go Spike Lee.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Jordan Peele. Um, you know who doesn't get a lot of credit, and they have like a really dope resume if you look at it. F. Gary Gray.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, he
Oh
does.
yeah,
You're right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
F. Gary Gray got some real gems in there. Like besides Boys in the Hood, he had like the Italian Job. Like he got range. You know, Italian Job, Straight Out of Compton. Um, let me see. So who did I say? Said Spike,
John
John Singleton.
Singleton.
Yeah, Spike, John Singleton, F. Gary Gray, um, Ryan Coogler. Um, you know who I really like as a director, and she didn't do a lot of movies, but she does a lot of TV. Debbie Allen is super dope as a
I
director.
was going to say her. Yeah, yeah, she's badass.
Debbie Allen is super dope as a director. And she's directed all kind of episodes of all kinds of different series and variety shows. She's done everything from like Polly to Showtime at the Apollo 25th anniversary, and you know what I'm saying? Like she's done like everything, and everything I've seen her put her hands on. Different World. She did a lot of most
Yeah,
of Different World was her.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
And she bred other directors from being on a Different World. She let Malcolm Jamal Warner direct some episodes.
Mhm.
She let Kadeen Hardison direct some episodes. Like so, there's other directors that came from under her too.
yeah,
And one of the reasons I picked Spike Lee is because if you look at a lot of directors who came after Do the Right Thing, I feel like a lot of them young black directors took a lot of the template from Spike Lee, where how they
Mhm.
shot, how they set the mood with their shots and the colors that they use. A lot of that come from
yeah,
Spike Lee. Like I remember when I first watched Dear White People, I was like, it looks like they literally came from the school of Spike.
Mhm.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
That's
and
true.
and,
That's true.
and the choice of music in is the music supervision on a lot of Spike Lee movies. You see a lot of that emulated now with that um, avant-garde jazz, from back in like the Eric Dolphin days and those types of
Yeah,
soundtracks and shit like that. That a lot of people emulate that from him as well.
yeah. So I feel like we have a lot of like, you know, I guess you could say kids. Like you have a lot of kids
Yeah,
that are, you know, belong to Spike. Now, Jordan Peele to me is crazy because he kind of just started and he already moving up to a lot of people's top five. But
Mhm.
I think because he has such a lane of his own and such a style of his own when it comes
It's a
to
good.
no, it's really good. It's really like I feel like Jordan Peele's style of directing is submersive. Like
Mhm.
I feel like when you're in the Jordan Peele movie, it's an experience, almost like you know how when you go to like Universal Studios and they put you in those like immersive,
Mm-hmm.
like the Transformers shit. Like that's
yeah,
what
Like
his
the minion shit and
yeah
shit
the
like
million
that.
shit. Yeah, that's what his movies feel like. When you in there,
Mm-hmm.
it feel like you're in the movie. Like I don't know how he
Mm-hmm.
does it. I don't know how he pulls you in like that. I think it's brilliant. Whatever he does to get people there, because I think that's probably like we talk about black people in horror movies and how it be funny and be loud, people be talking. I think Jordan Peele horror movies are like the quietest I ever see black people in the theaters when you watch it.
shit.
Yeah, when you and maybe it's because all the shit that we would yell at the other horror movies, he takes care of in the movie. He does it so we don't
Yeah,
have to yell that shit. Like,
Yeah.
don't go behind the door. You don't have to, because
yeah,
he's not gonna make him go behind that. You know what I mean? So
right.
I think the reason he's moved up to people's top so fast is because of like how well his joints are put together, how immersive they are, how immersive they feel, and how the whole time you're thinking. Because now he
Yeah,
got you off your heels the whole time. You like, what does this mean? What does
yeah,
this symbolize? Is this the twist? Is this the twist? You know what I'm saying? It's like he like the black M Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, well, that's an insult to I don't know. That's
The
fighting.
insult to Jordan.
M. Night Shyamalan owe me about $40 worth of bullshit movie ticket prices. But I think he's like a black Orson Welles, or you know what I'm saying,
Or Hitchcock.
People that used to mind fuck, yeah, or Alfred Hitchcock. They used to
Yeah.
mind fuck the audience, and like they don't know how to feel, and you know, and then there's a big payoff in the film. So yeah, he's a thinking man's writer. Well, I won't say he's a thinking man's writer, but he's a thinking writer. You know what I'm saying? This shit gets real cerebral when he like Get Out. I was just like, that shit was just the craziest plot I had heard of, and all the symbolism built into that, you know, especially during the time that it came out. You know what I mean? With all the shit that was going on socially and shit like that. Then you make a movie where that symbolizes, you know, white people want black culture, but they don't want black people and shit. So they'll,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So that if that was a movie, that was Get Out, basically. You know what I'm saying? So to take that theme and flip it the way that he did was like, that's just brilliant, man. Dude.
Yeah. And I want to give
I didn't realize that that movie Get Out was actually the Kendrick Drake beef.
What?
You go referencing this shit.
This nigga be talking. It's like you going to see The Godfather and shit.
Think about it, because Drake wants to take over that black culture. I'm sorry, I'm just going off on a tangent.
Oh, you know, I want to give an honorable mention to director wise as well. The Hudlin brothers, you know, and the Hughes brothers. The Hughes brothers gave us a lot of classics. You know, they gave us Menace to Society, Dead Presidents. They gave us American Pimp. They gave us the book Eli. And the Defiant ones, they did that, which I thought was brilliant.
Oh yeah, Defiant was so dope.
I think Defiant was one of the dopest documentaries that I've ever seen. The way it shot, the way it was edited, the way the whole thing was put together. Like one of my favorite documentaries ever is The Kid Stays in the Picture about Robert Evans, who did a bunch of the Paramount pictures back in the day, like The Godfather and all that. But that was my favorite for so long, and I think the Defiant one was the next one that got even close.
Yeah,
you know,
it was dope as shit.
Yeah,
you don't even have to be a musician to appreciate the way that that was done, man. It was package of information. Your documentary is dope as shit too, man. I would love to see that motherfucker finally get the light of day, man.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. It's crazy too. Like, I thought I was finished, and I want to send a big shout out to Adrian Clayton. So Roger Clayton, for those of you who don't know, I'm working on a documentary called How the West Was Born about the real origins of West Coast hip hop, the real origins, because so many documentaries come out and they're East Coast based, and because they're East Coast based, they either just skip over the West Coast, or when they start the West Coast piece of the documentary, it starts at NWA. What a lot of people don't know is before NWA, there was a whole hip hop scene out here in California, Los Angeles, Oakland, called Electro Funk. And the crews who bought it to you and bought you the records, like Egyptian Lover and who was Egyptian Lover, World Class Wrecking Crew, you know, all those guys who Dre and NWA actually
Uncle Jam's Army and shit.
Yeah, Uncle Jam's Army.
Yeah.
So Roger Clayton started Uncle Jam's Army along with Gid Martin. Shout out to Gid Martin, who gave us a dope interview. So, but Roger Clayton passed away in 2010, actually on my birthday in 2010, 10/10/2010. So I wanted to tell his story because I felt like him as a hip hop pioneer, he should be known just like Kool Herc. He should be known just like the East, like African Bambaataa, and all. Like he should be known like that for what he's done on the West Coast. So I'm trying to tell this story, bro, and I'm getting interviews. And finally, it was about a month ago, Rex. Roger Clayton's sister finally agreed to be a part of our documentary because she said, she's like, I'm just so tired of people telling lies. I'm so tired of people trying to take credit for what my brother did. And there's a clip of LL Cool J on Drink Champs talking about Roger Clayton from Uncle Jam's Army is the first person who brought him here. And then Adrian told us he was the first person to bring Run DMC, Houdini, LL Cool J, all of Def Jam, the whole Def Jam tour basically started because he brought them all here to California first. And people should know this. People don't know that basically he the one who migrated hip hop, the rap portion from the East Coast. He brought the East Coast here, and we already had our thing going here too. But people don't know that. So I'm making a documentary about that, man. And Adrian has been hooking us up with some incredible interviews lately, man. We interviewed a cat a couple of weeks ago named about a month ago named Steve Ellis, and he basically grew up with Roger, and he gave us the rundown of how they got started and all that. And man, 3 weeks later we lost him. He passed away, and
Damn.
and we got his final interview, and that's the reason I really want to tell this story because like in the midst of the 3 years that I've been working on this, there was like 2 or 3 guys that I didn't get to interview because they passed away before I got a chance to get their story. So I want to get their story because I feel like libraries are burning down and we're not getting those books out of the library in time to keep their legacy going. So I'm so glad that she hopped on board and she's helping me. Shout out to Mark McGuire for hooking me up with her as well. It's been a journey, man. It's been crazy, but I feel like we are finally getting towards the finish line. But like I said, every time I'm thinking I'm at the finish line, she'll call me like, "You need to go talk to this person." And people who wouldn't give me interviews before, now on her word, they coming through like immediately. Like, "Oh, Adrian said do it. All right, I'm doing it." So that has kind of opened up a whole nother area,
a whole background actually.
Yeah, opened up a whole nother realm for us. So
That's dope. That's
yeah,
dope.
man.
Congratulations.
How the West was born, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Shit.
Yeah. Well, dude, so we just interviewed a cat named Lamont Williams. He might be watching. What up, Lamont? He need his own damn documentary.
He need his own every fucking thing. You hear
His
me?
story was so crazy. When I say it's shit that you would think is not believable while he's telling you the stories, and then he's sending you pictures of all the shit he just told you about,
Yeah.
like everything from like fighting with Suge to being with the mob and like the Italian mob. You like, what the fuck, nigga? Like this some Paul Bunyan shit.
What?
Then he sent us pictures with the white suit, with the tie, with the handkerchief, with all of the known mob dudes. I'm like, holy shit! Like he had the pinky ring just like them. Like it's crazy, bro. Like it's a lot. It's a lot. But yeah. So I'm working on that. I actually want to make it a series if I can. There's a cat named Odell who I've been working with. We actually want to do like how the Midwest was born, how the South was born. You know what I mean? How the East was born. Like we want to go and get those places that haven't had a spotlight on them, because you know the Midwest got everybody from Crucial Conflict to Twister, Pope, what they call Pope Pimpin', Common. Like the Midwest got its own whole Tech Nine,
Tech Nine,
yeah. Like there's a whole Midwest movement that I don't think gets enough credit, because like it's funny, a lot of time they attribute a lot of the Midwest shit to the East Coast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is weird. Weird as shit.
But there's a lot of, in Florida, like you go because people think it's just Luke and booty music and all that. Like no, there was a whole nother movement of hip hop after that, in the South, but from Atlanta to Florida with Dungeon Family and all that. Like. So hopefully, if the first one goes off well, I want to make this a series, because I think the culture does need this. And again, like I want us to start building up our own library told from us, our point of view, without others meddling, if you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying?
Don't tell no lies on me. Tell truth on you.
So let me ask y'all something too. Like it's funny, like Soul Plane turned 20 years old today.
Oh yeah,
ain't that crazy? 20 Soul Plane is 20 years old today, man. Now, back when it came out, that movie got panned. People killed that movie, but in retrospect, it seems like it became a cult classic. And I feel like there's actually a lot of black films that don't get their due when they come out and become huge cult classics, like Lottery Ticket. That was like not people shit, but like a certain generation, like T-Rex, like your generation, y'all love Lottery Ticket. Like that's kind of like one of y'all joints. And The Last Dragon didn't do very well at theaters, and The Last Dragon has stood the test of time to become a cult classic. So let me ask y'all, do y'all think that is a product of some black films not getting the push and marketing that should have gotten in the first place to get out to people?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what you think it
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
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 because the thing about it, when you look at how those films are marketed, they were marketed quote unquote to one section of the
Yeah,
population. It was not
hmm
given any national media, national attention, national print. It was like it was treated as a specialty. Case in point, look at what the Black Panther did. They were treating it as a specialty film in the month of February. That shit blew the fucking roof off to the
yeah,
point now where they started looking at like, oh shit, this actually has legs. Oh
yeah,
shit, you
yeah,
know. So yeah, to circle back to your question, Dame, absolutely,
yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
the whole black exploitation era was specifically that, um, movies specifically targeting black people, and not necessarily in a flattering way, but just knowing just that's just for them. Nobody else will go see it. Nobody else will support it, and watching those the newer ones like you mentioned, like the Last Dragon and shit like that, fell is where some of the folklore that black movies don't do well in the box office and shit like that. That's where that shit came from, because they smother a movie and don't give it a chance to blossom. You know what I mean? And they say, "Well, I told you that the black films don't do well," until, like Rob said, when Wakanda came along and Get Out and shit like that. Well, really, it took George Floyd opened up a lot of doors. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
No, real shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
But
yeah, because that's when they created a lane for black people to keep niggas from tearing down more stores and Burger Kings and shit like that.
I'll
And out of that, there was a whole pot of gold of money and shit. So,
I'll even go
um,
I'll even go further. You notice that those movies in which those specialized movies, when they're released, you see them everywhere on television, streaming, movies, cables. So if those movies aren't necessarily popular, then why is it that the viewership for those movies when they're going straight to cable is so high?
yeah,
yeah. I mean, it was never really true, but the black movies just never got a chance.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the way to see that. Now, the only unfortunate thing about black movies getting a better seat at the table is niggas gonna bootleg shit. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you don't get to see the real impact that a movie has culturally, because of that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm the biggest bootlegger I know, so don't get me wrong. I ain't shitting on bootlegging, but when it comes down to the statistics for sales and shit like that, sometimes that undermines some of the opportunity, because I think black movies are getting more visibility now, but it's kind of cooled down, if you notice, from what it was when Lovecraft Country was on TV, and then
hmm
what's the other movie with Orlando? What's his name that they took off?
the TV, American Gods.
American Gods was on at the same time as what's the other Lovecraft Country? There was two. Oh, the one that was the
Them.
spinoff from what was the superhero movie that
The Watchmen.
yeah, The Watchmen. That shit was all one season, right? I think Watchmen was only one season. It was gone.
Yeah.
Lovecraft Country was one season, and it was gone. And those were the biggest series on HBO, and they
Yeah,
went away. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Because they was
Immediately. No.
they're like, all right, these niggas getting too black now. Like,
Yeah, and they put the shit on the shelf, because those production companies could have taken that IP somewhere else,
yeah, and they won't even
got
let
on
them.
another
Yeah,
platform, but you don't hear nothing else about those shows at all. And that was Jordan Peele. Lovecraft Country was Jordan Peele, and I forgot who was Watchmen. Was that what's her name?
Regina King.
Gina King. Yeah, was
Yeah,
she directed some of that or
yeah,
something?
she
She
directed some of them. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's like those names had star power, so they should have been able to say, "Well, fuck y'all, we'll go to BET or go to Netflix or somewhere else and take our show." And
real quick, Portia said Woo was her shit from back in the day. Woo with Jada Pinkett, but that's what I'm saying. But or even like Baps, right? Like Baps was super
Mm-hmm.
pan, but like Baps is a huge cultural phenomenon to this day. People still dress up for Halloween as Baps, and that's what they always say. You could tell a real cultural phenomenon when people dress up for it for Halloween years
yeah,
later.
like
And so
Rocky
there's
Horror
a lot
Picture
of black movies Yeah, like Backyard Picture Show. Yeah, so there's like a lot of movies that like had impact, and I think if they would have gotten the push of just a movie as opposed to a urban movie, we know how that go from being at Sony when they throw that urban word on you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like they did that with a lot of these films. They just throw the word urban on it. So then what happens? Urban movies get smaller marketing budgets. Urban movies get less theater screens. Urban movie gets less commercials. Like, you know what I mean? So off the top, the movie is not getting the widespread. Like you said, Mars, they treat a lot of these movies as specialty movies when if you would have just gave them a push, they would have just been seen as good movies. You know what I mean? Like people just saw them as good movies because like there's no way that stuff that we have been quoting 20 and 30 years later, you like how this movie got staying power like that, but when it came out at the theaters, it was not even a big box office hit. But you could go almost to any black person in any hood and say "Kiss My Converse" and they know what movie we're talking about. You know what I mean? Like so it's things like that, and like you said, with what Jordan Peele is doing, Ava DuVernay is getting to do, and you know all those people like that, they're getting to make some impactful stuff. But it starts to feel like when it gets too impactful, they kind of push that down, they suppress it.
Absolutely. I mean, it was fashionable for a minute to be an ally. You know what I'm saying? When everybody got there,
it was in style. It was in style for a high
inclusion departments and shit like that. As soon as the Supreme Court did that flip on what was it that they took away from the colleges and shit like that? Where
DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yeah, the shit within a week, about 50 to 70% of the companies that had established those departments and those committees and shit took their shit down. So that happened publicly, but I think behind the scenes, you know, motherfuckers like, well, this black awareness shit is over now, so you know we can go back to green light and fewer black films and shit like that. But luckily, there's the other thing that I think that really a lot of filmmakers are benefiting from. Well, two things actually. If I can interject, this is one is the internet exists. So that segmented marketing from back in the day where you think it's a black film, so you're only going to promote it in Chicago and Atlanta and blah, blah, blah. And the people in those regions think, oh, this is a national film when it's really just regionally marketed and it just appears that it's everywhere when it's only in a few places. Now that shit can go viral or get publicized some other kind of way because people can share that information, right? And then two, there's so many more possibilities for streaming platforms and different ways to deliver films and TV shows and shit like that you're not necessarily limited to. I mean, you're still limited to some gatekeeper at some level at a Netflix or a Hulu or HBO or Showtime or whatever, but there's way more of that shit now where I think George Floyd and COVID combined, you know what I'm saying, just opened up the floodgates for a lot more of opportunities for shit to be streamed. That's why Tubi got a whole bunch of shit on it, and half of it's terrible. But you know, when you can get terrible shit placed and nobody asks questions,
you
know what I'm saying. That's the impact of streaming, I think.
I agree, and like you said, I think Tubi has opened the gates too for other filmmakers to not have to be like stuck in a lane, right? Like to not have to like there's literally stories that's coming out, and I always tell people, I said, look, you can shoot something that looks bad long as your sound is good.
Yeah.
If your sound is good and you got a good story, people will rock with it. If you shoot that shit and it looks amazing and the sound is bad and people can't really hear the dialogue, you lost. You lost. You know what I mean? So that's why dialogue, like sound, is so. And I just tell this for any upcoming filmmakers who are out there trying to do their own thing. And just try to find you like $100 Zoom, and make sure you get some good sound along with not just using your camera sound. Try to get you some good sound, and that'll help you immensely in people taking your art seriously. So what do you think is like the next evolution for black filmmakers, V-Ray? I think it's possibly like more do it yourself. I think we're gonna figure out better ways to distribute our own shit and make funds off of it. I think that's where it's going next, is not just we just gonna put it on YouTube or we're gonna put it out on these platforms, but like how can we somebody's going to figure out how to put it on platforms and actually navigate monetizing it in a correct way where you can compete with the money you would get from a Hulu, you compete with the royalties you would get from, you know, those big companies. What's your thoughts on that, V-Ray?
Well, I think that from the groups and stuff that I've been joining lately on Facebook and stuff like that, I think it's kind of creating a model where I think creators are starting to collaborate and cooperate more so, right? So what I'm leaning into is to try to get a collaborative thing. I think you and I have talked about this before. I wanted to do this thing called the Round Table, where, you know, different directors and producers and people that do sound, lights, or whatever. We sit on a committee or some kind of thing where people bring their projects and everybody cooperates and shoots that person's shit. You know, if there's a person that does sound, a person that does cinematography, we all gang up on that person's thing, get that project done. Somebody else can throw their shit in the hat, and, you know, some kind of democratic process to select them, right, and shoot them. But beyond that, I think you can do the same thing with trying to get a platform together where people have the opportunity to stream their stuff, take the middleman out of the equation as far as how much you got to break off the big companies and shit. It's just like going independent with as an artist versus getting a record label. You can get a record label and sell 10,000 records, and that's just a flop. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if you sell 10,000 as an independent at $10 or $15 an album or whatever it used to be at the time, you do 10,000, you made $150,000 lick. That feels pretty successful versus what you would make otherwise. So I think that getting that type of platform, in my mind, could be expanded on until it's like on some Tyler Perry Studios kind of shit.
Right.
Where,
no, really.
You know
Yeah.
I'm totally serious. Where it's grown into, it's expanded into that type of thing. As long as everybody's putting in and turning out quality shit, you know what I'm saying, and everybody's got an investment in each project and stuff like that, I think the dividends would be a big payoff, and the level of cooperation. Of course, there's egos and other shit you can't really factor into that shit, but just the business model, I think, would be a great way for things to go. I mean, the cost, the overhead of doing a film now, if you're doing it independently and you're doing it smart, you don't have to spend, you know, $500,000 to make some shit that looks like $500,000.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that it's bringing that filmmaking capability into a different realm now. Quality films versus some shit you can tell a motherfucker did some low budget shit.
Yeah,
like low budget. Now,
yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that's the way to go, is trying to build a co-op.
Yeah,
you know, try to build a co-op with, like you said, different sound men, different cameramen, different directors, and like figure out who fits together and be like, hey, let's go tackle this project. Because the funny thing is, if we do it like that, we will alleviate probably like almost 60% of the budget by working together like that to get the good product as we build. And then we not like, because I tell people all the time, I say, I think the biggest issue I've seen with Black filmmakers in general, especially in LA, is so many of us want to be an island. We want to be the man. We want to do it. We want to be top of the, you know, food chain and everything. But I'm like, if you watch the biggest guys, if you watch Judd Apatow works with all the same people, same crew, same actors. If you look at
Spike did that early
Spike early on. Steven Spielberg, and the crazy thing is Steven Spielberg had a conglomerate. It was Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, and one more person. It was Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, and one more huge director. And they would do stuff together as college students, which, like, okay, you work on my film and then I'll work on your film. And I think if we as Black creators got on that page a little more, I think we actually could get more things done. Because now it's like, okay, now the budget is not gonna have to go to a cameraman, because the cameraman, we're gonna work on the cameraman film next. Now the budget don't have to go to the sound, because we're gonna work on the sound man's project next. So now we can put money into maybe more production shit. We could put money into some locations. You know what I'm saying? Now money is going into locations and production value. You know what I'm saying? Set designer and stuff like that. But if you got that core, and I've been trying to build this for a while too. It's tough too, like you said, because at the end of the day, everybody really just want to get off on their own shit. So it's hard to get people to invest in other people's. Because I'm down to work on other people's stuff. If when we're done with this, you'll come back and work on mine. And I kind of know all those people. Like I know script writers. I know, like, because sometimes like your script is dope, but if we brought this guy in, he can make your shit feel like a real movie. Like right now, it feels like a short film, but if you're able to get this guy to come in to feel like a real movie, I think if we were able to build that more as Black creators, I think we would be able to expand so much quicker, especially in LA, because there's so many of us in LA, in the LA Hollywood area, who are doing this or have been trying to do this.
Yeah.
I think it can be so much more expansive if we build more of those co-ops and just be like, look, we gonna rock together and we gonna build, because if your shit hit, we all worked on yours, so we get to a piece of that because we all worked on it. If mine hit, we all worked on it, so everybody's invested in everybody's project. I think that would be like a dope way to just build out a great creative co-op that can kill it, man, especially if you got some really talented people with the pen, really talented,
and it raises the level of quality of the whole product when you have specialists in every aspect, and then just your homeboy with the boom holding it, trying to get the sound captured and shit like that, when it's a real sound person with the gear and what I'm saying, that kind of stuff. And I'm seeing that trending, man, honestly, on social media and some of these groups, because I was that island mentality, you know what I mean? But I started like, you know what, I'm gonna just jump in these groups and not say anything just to see what they're talking about, if it's on some bullshit or whatever. And a lot of times, people are actually seeking that very thing to try to get projects off the ground and stuff like that. So I think it's the potential for it is definitely there.
Yeah. So yeah, everybody watching, if y'all want to get involved, hit us up and let's try to put this thing together. What up, Lynn? Let's try to put this thing together and get some dope Black films made and try to get, instead of short films, let's try to get some features done. Yeah, because that's where the bread is. Let's try to do some features. You know what I mean?
I'm with it. Definitely.
Before we get out of here, V-Ray, let's talk to the people about the Walk It Back challenge. Let's give them the give me your what is it called? Give me your let's make a deal contestant voice. When you running down the contest rules and all that, and let them know what we got going on, what they can win, and why we doing it even.
Well, I think first off, about the contest itself, it's a cool opportunity for dancers or just fans to be able to participate in a Wild Bunch project besides just coming out and supporting the music, which we absolutely appreciate. But as content for our music, the official music video for Walking Back, we're trying to get more fans to contribute footage of themselves performing the Walking Back line dance, right? We're trying to make it go viral. It would be great if we can get a TikTok, viral moment with this record. But in the meantime, what we've done is transition just the enjoyment and the interest of it over into a contest where people can upload their videos to a Dropbox type of Google Drive folder that we have available to the public. You shoot your stuff, you go on and click on the link to upload it to our site, and you drop it in there. You upload it to your social media and to your Instagram, Facebook, and if you got YouTube, tag Wild Bunch on it, give it to us, and we can post it and start getting likes and comments on it. And the most popular video after we run the contest for a month will win. We're basically going to take kind of like a semifinalist every week, and that's got the highest voted video. And at the end of the month, we'll have those videos go head to head, and we select a winner, and you can win an Amazon Fire TV. We're going to give away a smart TV as the prize for the contest. But we'll have some other prizes along the way, some swag, a hoodie or a Wild Bunch shirt, or a free download of the record, or a pre-download of the whole album, which we haven't even dropped yet, or you know what I'm saying, to make it interesting. So it's a way to just have some fun, get some people to take that line dance, put their own little chili sauce on it and their own swag on it, and let us get it out there and actually get it entered as part of our music video. Now there are some actual rules for this joint though. You can't just jump out there in your panties and shit, shaking your ass and try to get a TV. So the details are as follows, and I'm reading this straight off the internet. So first off, it's open to all ages, so any ages can be involved in it. There's no entry fee for it, but you gotta one thing that you must do is follow our Instagram. So you gotta go and follow Wild Bunch on IG. Excuse me. You record your video, and like I mentioned, you gotta upload it to Wild Bunch's public drive. You also upload it to your Instagram, Facebook, and not YouTube, but TikTok. I said YouTube, but if you got YouTube, that's dope too. But everywhere you post it, you tag it with Wild Bunch, you tag it with Walk It Back, and tag it with Walk It Back Challenge, and just drive your people to go and vote and like and share and all that stuff. And the one with the most traction gets into gets moved up as a semifinalist to win. Now on our page, I have it on my timeline. I think every band member has it up right now, and it's definitely on the Wild Bunch page. But we have a link to the tutorial video. So there's a what's the chick's name that did the tutorial, bro?
Fly.
So she did a nice little tutorial video that there's a link to on the contest rules page of our post. And it's a direct link to YouTube, so you can go out there and check it out, learn it, and then, like I said, switch it up. Well, not switch it up, but put your own vibe to it, and shoot your video. So after that, you can and you can enter as many times as you like. If you got 2 or 3 versions, you can't decide which one to upload. Upload all of them. You know what I'm saying? But the one that gets the most likes and shares and that type of thing is going to drive you into a winning position. So the contest is going to run for the whole month of June. So we'll announce the winner here on the Wild Wild Thoughts show at the end of the month, and that'll be July 3rd, I should say. We'll do the announcement on Wild Thoughts, but the contest runs for 4 weeks, and you got plenty of time to get your entries in. But the sooner you get them in, the more time you have for people to vote on your video and try to get your numbers up. So we'll be selecting the entrant, getting the most videos, and I mean the most likes and original comments. And by most, I do mean the total of everything: the comments, the shares, the likes, what that all adds up to. So have all your friends get out there and pump up your votes. Excuse me. And everybody that's entering the contest, by entering the contest, you agree to let us use your image, your name, and all that stuff in our promotions and in the music video, because that's ultimately what we're going to get out of it, is to be able to have some of the hottest dancers appear in the video with the original clips that you enter into the contest. So be sure you ain't on probation or house arrest and ain't supposed to be outside and shit, get in trouble. So anyway, that's basically it. The last thing I'd say is that it is a Amazon Fire TV, is a smart TV, as I mentioned, and we'll award the prize within 7 days after we announce the winner on the 3rd. So by July 10th, whoever won it will get it. And it doesn't matter if you're in LA or not. I mean, we're going to drop ship it if we have to, or you can pick it up and have the photo op with the band and us handing off the TV to you, whatever. But it will be deliverable by the 10th of July. So this is a legit payoff to a legit contest. So I'm excited about it because I want to see what some of these people are doing with dance. And we've had some cool people submit some videos so far, but I'm really excited to see what's going to come in.
Will we be able to grandfather those people into the contest too? The people that submitted videos already?
I don't see why not. We should be able to. The only catch is they've had a head start on voting. Yeah. If they had it up for a month or something like that. But still, I think we could if we're gonna kick off the contest June 1st, we can just take their videos, repost it, and let the countdown start on the new post.
Okay.
Have them included in it. So yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, for sure.
We do have some funky videos so far.
Yeah, some really dope ones.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anybody got anything to say before we get out of here, man?
I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Circling back to your topic of going into the theater, how did it feel to be back in the movie theaters?
Oh, you know what? I tell people it's funny because everybody's like, well, everything's streaming. I don't have to go back to the theater. I'm like, yo, it's not the same. Like, I love the experience of going to a theater, watching a movie, grabbing my popcorn, seeing it with different people, getting those big reactions. Like, like imagine going to see Endgame, not at the movies, you at the house watching Endgame. And then you get when, everybody comes out, when they bring everybody back from the snap, and you home, and you don't get that that big gap. You know what I mean? Like it's certain moments that you want to have and you want to share in that. So I'm glad that they opened it back, and because I love going to the movies. Like going to the movies, like one of my favorite things to do. So I was glad they opened it, and because it feels so different than. Because so many good, dope movies were released during COVID that went straight to streaming. I'm like, damn, I wish I could have saw this in the theater. Like there were certain movies like that Suicide Squad movie, the new one. I wanted to see that one in the theater. You know what I mean? Like I bet this would have been a dope experience in the theater. So yeah, that's my take on it. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I agree. There's nothing like the experience of the theater sound system too. For those scary movies, that shit that makes you jump and shit like that. Jump the same way watching
loud ass
21-inch screen,
big ass speakers.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? All the subs, all the subtext of the inflections of the actors' voices when they talk low like Rob, or when they talk loud and motherfucker like me. You know what I'm saying? You get all of that though. There's nothing left on the table or nothing left up to wonder. So that's my big thing, is that the audio in theaters personally.
Yeah, that's my feeling on it.
How about you, Rob? What's the last thing you saw in the theater, man?
Planets of the Apes movie.
Oh, Planet of the Apes. What did you think of that?
Man, I walked out of there pissed off.
What? Really?
I don't want to spoil it for anything, but I was in a very Milton mood when I went into that movie.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah, I liked it personally, but I guess maybe you got to be in the right mind state to really enjoy it.
I had every intention of seeing it because hearing that this was going to be the last one, I wanted to see exactly how they were going to close it off. But how they closed it off, I was like, really? I was like, all right.
Nah, bro, they left it open for another. They ain't gonna let a franchise that's like performing be like, and we're done, and walk away from leaving money on the table. They're gonna have to ruin it before they'll stop making the movies, probably, bro. Planet of the Apes Part 14 and shit.
Right. Like they literally been making this shit since 1967.
Right.
Planet of the Apes movies since 1967. All right, man. This was a great show dedicated to cinema. We love the movies. I could talk movies all day and all night.
Y'all forgot about somebody too. Y'all forgot about John Singleton.
Nope, I had John Singleton in my top.
But we didn't say Stan Lathan though. Stan Lathan is
yeah.
Anyway, like you said, we could talk this shit all night though, bro. This is my lane, real.
Yeah, man. So go follow us. Hit that Walk It Back challenge so you can win that TV. It'll be posted on all Wild Bunch social media very soon, so you can see the rules and regulations and all that. And follow directions. I know some of you Negrons don't follow directions, but try to follow directions as much as you can. And we're gonna have a good time. But we'll see y'all next week on Wild Thoughts. Thank everybody for joining. We actually had more people on Instagram than Facebook today. So shout out to all my IG people, my IG folks watching. We'll see y'all next Wednesday. Until next time, shout out to Rob, my co-host. Shout out to V-Ray, Lil Rex in the building. All right, we'll see y'all next time.
Stop the world, let me off. I don't like this destination. I a transfer to the express line. I gotta get off. Electric slide into the double doors of life. Things are changing and it ain't the way I like. On the replay, wish I could get a replay. Don't mean to hold ya, but I wanna do over. Gas up the ship, shoot me a text and let me know when it is time. I wanna get off, I wanna get off. 1 star, would not recommend that we go far from here. I wanna get off.